For years, mankind has explored hidden powers of the mind. Most dismissed it as science fiction.
It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what we're doing believing in all this nonsense over all these years.
But what if they were wrong? What if you could summon UFOs? With your mind. What if you had the power inside of you all this time? Would you try it? Would you be afraid? Or would you just go for it?
Because these are going nuts.
They're going off.
And you interact with them, you form a bond. Oh no, you can't record any of this.
Turn it off. Turn it off for a second.
Controversial, huh? That's my middle name.
Like it turned on and got brighter for 1 second.
Yeah.
I know there's aliens inside there.
Did you see that, Patrick? Oh my god.
Did you hear that? Something was in the bushes right behind you, dude.
I'm ready to see something. If you're willing to show it to me, I'm open. I just want to see what you are. And I look up, and there are these orange lights that are just drifting above the tree line.
I just don't even know what I'm doing with my life.
What up, betters? Making sure I got my mic going here, bro. Astral, how's my mic sound, dude? Is that better?
It's good.
Now?
Yeah,
Is it louder
sounds good.
now? Okay,
Yeah.
because I had it down before. I didn't realize it. What up, everybody? We got Astral in the house, and we're just gonna talk UFOs. We're gonna keep it real simple. There may be a magic act later in. I mean, we may surprise you. I don't know. Astral's got a acapella song lined up for our break,
Right.
Which should be good. It's gonna be sick. My heart will go on. Can't wait to do that. But thank you everybody for jumping in the chat. Let's do something I do on every stream real quick just to get us started here. You know what? Maybe we'll wait a little bit till some more people join, but then I may forget. So let's just do it now. Throw in the chat where you watching from. Where in the world are you watching from? I'm gonna shout it out here on the stream. So hit me with it. Hat giveaway. Oh, calm down. All right, let's see here. Come on now. There we go. Okay, here we go.
I'm about to pick up some merch, by the way.
Get some merch, baby. Get it going.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Austria, Alabama, Chicago, UK, Mexico, California, Ottawa, Sweden, South Delaware, Los Angeles, Austria, Germany, Rhode Island, Oakland, Las Vegas, South Texas, Ipswich, France, Kentucky, UK, Tennessee, Sydney, Australia, Kingston, Ontario, Georgia, France, Francia, je ne sais pas parler français. God, I can't get that out. New Jersey, Orlando, the moon. Sweet. Pittsburgh, San Diego, Wakanda. I'm just kidding. Minnesota, Alameda, Ukraine, Philadelphia, my old stomping grounds in Philly, Perth, Mama's Basement. I knew it. I knew some of y'all were down there. Vienna, Ontario. This is awesome. Omaha. Oh, that's where I was born. UK. All right, y'all. It's awesome to see everybody from around the world jumping in. This is a global topic, and I'm very excited to jump in and just hang out and talk. We got a bunch of topics that I've got lined up, and we're just going to do the same thing we always do, man. If you guys haven't already, check out Astral's YouTube channel. You may know him from X, but check out his YouTube channel. I put it in the description, so you can just click the link to subscribe to his channel, and that would be really cool to do that and support him.
Appreciate it.
And let's see here. Okay, they're saying, how does the sound? Let me know in the chat, guys. What is the sound like? Hit me with it. Let me know. Let's make sure it's good before we move on here. Delightful. Okay. Is that a place or?
Please adjust your voice.
I don't.
Or me.
I don't know. I need more than one person to say it. Turn your mic up a smidge. Astral is louder.
Yeah, so I'll take mine a little bit back.
I cannot put it up anymore. It is literally. Oh, you know what? Do this. Let's try that. Let's try that. Okay.
Sounds a little bit louder. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it? Okay.
It does. It is what it is at this point. You know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We're on it. We're in here.
We're in it, baby. All right. Well, look, let's see. First thing here. Oh gosh, I got a bunch of things here. All right, let's start with the most recent, okay, which is a video that I made yesterday that is about a imminent Donald Trump UFO disclosure speech that apparently was supposed to happen yesterday, July 8th, on the anniversary of Roswell. And I'm just going to play a little trailer from the video that I made, and then we'll jump into it here. Patrick here with Vetted. Today we're talking about this. Trump's inner circle have shown me the real UFO disclosure. The president has an imminent speech written and ready. What he'll explain about non-human life will make it all make sense. President Trump allegedly has a speech written and ready that could finally provide the world with the truth about UFOs. Mark Christopher Lee, who correctly predicted several aspects of Trump's UFO disclosure plans in the Daily Mail earlier this year, now claims the president has prepared a speech that would amount to a historic, soft disclosure of extraterrestrial life. White House officials have told the Daily Mail that no speech discussing this topic has been planned. However, Lee revealed that multiple sources believe the speech not only exists, but may have been moved up to take place during the NATO summit in Turkey on July 8th, which is also the anniversary of the Roswell UFO incident in 1947, though he is less confident about the exact timing of the speech. Quote, people I have spoken with in Washington have told me that a speech on the topic has been prepared and is ready to go, Lee told the Daily Mail. Whether it happens tomorrow or in the coming days, it appears imminent.
People of the world, we are not alone on this planet. Aliens are among us.
Hilarious.
There it is.
Aliens are among us. Go check out that video if you want to see the full video on my YouTube channel, on this channel. What am I talking about? Like I'm on some other channel. But let Astral, what do you know about this story? What have you been following this guy?
Yeah, it's been a while since this has crept back up. I think in the beginning of the year, this was really bubbling up into when this was going to happen around this time. So it's interesting that it was sort of debunked before this. People have come out in the story, and I think even Bob Bigelow was associated with this story at one point as being the source for Mark Christopher Lee. I don't know, man. It just seems so ridiculous, especially with how Trump has been moving around the topic, of UFOs to be, kind of like just shoving it off. I don't think he's been into it that much that he would even come out and make an announcement like this, because if you look at all of the clips that Trump has been on and being asked publicly about UFOs, he's just like, oh, I don't know. I don't really care. Like, there's some pilots that are doing interesting things, but for him to come in front of the country to make a definitive speech, I don't think anybody around him really understands what's even going on, because you look at Burleson and they were calling Eric Burleson, the White House and executive team, supposedly, according to Eric Burleson, they were calling him being like, we don't know where to go. We don't know what to look for. And for them to now come out and make a definitive speech confirming alien life is such a stretch now. I just don't see it. I don't take this very credible at all.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. The temperature in the Trump administration doesn't match this claim, right? And what we're seeing. If more was bubbling up and Trump was very interested in all that, there may be, right, you might be more keen to take it a little more seriously. But it's like you said, it just seems so far removed. Like, what we're gonna go from we don't know what the fuck's going on and releasing bird videos to disclosing aliens in a speech at the NATO summit, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, can you imagine if Trump would have done that at the NATO summit? I mean, people thought he was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Unless he wheeled out the fucking aliens in the thing, you know. I mean, that would have made him the top leader in the history of mankind. So if he had that, you're damn right he would have done that. Trump isn't one to hold back his cards and not play them. He plays cards he doesn't even have. So if he had this, he would definitely be playing it. But yeah, it did match up. There was a lot of inconsistencies, like I pointed out in my video. I kind of just tell the story at the beginning, and then at the end of my video, I point out all the different, red flags that came with it. And just quickly, a few of them are, Mark initially said that he had a Trump insider. That's from his own videos and his own stuff, because I covered this a lot back when it happened back in January. He said his source was a Trump insider, that they had proof from inside the Trump administration. We never got the proof. He later came out and said his source was Robert Bigelow. That got lambasted by George Knapp, who told him no. I talked to Bob, and he says he doesn't even know who you are. And then Mark came out and apologized and said, I got it wrong. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Then yesterday, in this Daily Mail article and in a video that Mark posted to his YouTube channel, he reveals who his source is. And it's this, I forget the guy's name, but he's basically, I don't know, they describe him as a TV producer for Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. But when I looked into it, he's been an associate producer on 2 episodes of Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. And that's the only thing on his IMDb credit. So he's not a Trump insider. That Mark described him as inside the Trump orbit. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And just like total lie. And he initially also said that when he came out, he said his source was vetted. And then Greenwald had pushed back on him on X when he first came out. And and Greenwald was asking Mark, what'd you do to vet your sources? Like, what'd you do to find out if this is real? And Mark's like, I can't vet him. There's nothing to vet. And I'm like, wait a second, but you said he was vetted. Like, what are we talking about? It's all over the place. He just changed his story a lot. He moved the goalposts. There was supposed to be a press conference in May. Never happened. He had said that July 8th was the date months ago, and then doubled down on it in this Daily Mail article. Again, didn't happen. And he also, Mark tried to take credit for all the stuff that's happened with the file tranches. Is that like he was a part of that happening? I just, and then the Daily Mail article saying that Mark got all of his predictions right since January. I'm like, literally nothing has been right. Nothing has been right. Like, what are we talking about? I mean, it's just insanity. So I've interviewed Mark Christopher Lee before. Actually, just a couple months before he came out with that claim, I had interviewed him for a documentary that he made. Nice guy. I'm nothing against the guy personally. I just think this is nuts. And I think it's a perfect example of sources and how to actually vet your sources and relay that information. And my point has always been, podcasters like us, we don't have the resources to truly vet anybody. Even if a podcaster's like, no, I vetted him. How did you vet? You don't have any resources to vet shit. Right. I don't have sources for that reason. I can't vet anybody. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how to, you're talking people that have no experience with sources and all this stuff, just like jump into the deep end, and then profess that they've vetted their source. They haven't vetted anything. They don't vet anything. They just take the information and then spread it. So, yeah, a little disappointing. To be fair, I think 99% of people that heard this thought it was bullshit, but it got a lot of attention. That's for sure.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
everywhere.
it made it all the way. I think the most interesting part of it was that this rumor made it all the way to a press question to Trump. Trump was asked about this rumor, about the speech. Are you giving this UFO speech? And I think it made it all. Even his daughter on a podcast was talking about this as well. So it's just driven by all of this story that was just kind of whipped up, that had no bearing on a realistic situation. Because even, and then, we've got Greer saying he's writing speeches for everybody's doing stuff for Trump, except Trump doesn't want to do shit. He doesn't want to, I'm telling you, man, I just feel like he doesn't want anything to do with the topic. And this is what we're seeing. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out afterwards. Cause I think most people are like, all right, this is BS. This is bullshit. But is this guy going to keep on continuing moving the goal? Cause ufology does, people forget, he'll be right back at it and be like, well, my source said it was actually August 15th. And so I think it doesn't happen to this degree where now this moment comes, but there's a lot of that that happens, with disclosure of well, it wasn't this date, this wasn't this bit, even remember David Grush was supposed to have this interview on CNN or something recently too, and it's just that it hasn't happened. The op-ed, stuff like this that we're told is oh, these big disclosure moments are coming up, but it never
happens. He moved the goalpost in his video that he released, that Mark released. I included a couple clips in my video. He's basically saying could be July 8th tomorrow, but it could also be another date and all that. It's like, dude, what do you do? You said your source told you this day. You know what I mean? It did get pushed all the way to the press secretary getting asked in a, like I said, a press question, at the White House. It's fucking nuts. But that's the circular sort of reporting that you don't know where it starts. So it starts to take on, you hear the story on X or on Twitter or on fucking Instagram or TikTok, you see a video, you don't know the origin of anything, right? So it starts to take on the mystery of the origin is what drives the credibility of it, because you can't identify the origin to say that's bullshit. You don't know, so you kind of, well, maybe, right? And I also said in my video, how long is he going to go with this? How long is he going to keep pushing this and claiming he did not, this is what he did? I mean, personally, I think it hurts his credibility, but it's each their own. That's what he wants to do, and that's what he wants to go after. Have at it. He can move with it.
I mean, we've gotten into this sort of clip culture. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm part of it. I clip a lot of things for just for UFO news and what would make news. But I think we're seeing it now on a bigger scale, where people with 1 million followers, 100,000 followers, the Daily Mail, they're just posting shit out there where it's being consumed by a lot more people, not just the UFO community. And then it kind of has this echo effect where, people are taking it serious, even though the original source of all of this is BS.
Yeah, 100%. And to some extent, I don't really even have a problem with that, because people need content and people need to read things and people need to take things in their normal lives. And life sucks a lot of time. Family, kids, jobs, bills, bullshit, fucking porch fucking's broken. I got to fix that shit. My lawnmower, goddamn, busted. And they just want to escape for a little bit. And sometimes escaping into some of these fantasies can help. So that's all good and all. It's more Mark at the end of the day is the one that pays the price, because any other claims that he comes out with, it's going to hurt him, And again, I think most of the people that saw this story were like, this is bullshit, but you can still see the story, all the shit you put on X and stuff. I appreciate what you do, because you just put it out. Hey, this person said this thing. Yeah. Let me look at it. Doesn't mean I have to invest my life in it and resources and time. And I don't think that happens. So just a weird thing. But I don't think Trump's going to be giving a speech Anytime soon. All right, let's go to this next story. This is the one I did a video the day before, which I'm sure you talked about it. Is the monoliths on the moon that Lou Elizondo said in a Japanese live stream, or I think it was a live stream. It could have been pre-recorded and then played as a live stream, but either way, he went on this Japanese thing and they asked him some stuff. So let me play the trailer for that, and then we'll talk about that, because I got some things to say about that one. Today we're talking about this. Oh, my bad. Hang on. That fuck it. We'll just leave it there.
If there's something very...
Damn it. Okay, hang on, y'all. I fucked this up.
Be developed.
What the fuck, dude? This isn't me. This is something up with StreamYard today, dog.
Bro.
Okay. All right. Today we're talking about this.
If there's something very important to be developed from the moon, I'm not sure what it is right now. And I sure think we should identify what it is for America to make such gross expenditures again for human habitation on the moon. We can help. We can join with. Together, we can explore the moon and develop the moon. We should go boldly where man has not gone before. Fly by the comets, visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars. There's a monolith there, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once in 7 hours. When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there? Well, the universe put it there. If you choose, God put it there.
You were asked, you said in your interview on Liberation Times, you talked about NIHI on the moon. They asked you about it, and you just answered yes.
There's also photographs that I don't believe have been made public yet that show on the lunar surface what appear to be large monolithic structures with right-angle cuts that appear to be on the lunar surface. And I believe those photographs, if they have not been released yet, may be released soon. But they are certainly very intriguing looking at these objects from space.
All right. Again, that whole video's out. I did basically a pretty deep dive on Lou and other things that he said. But when you hear that asteroid, that's your new name, Astral, asteroid. What do you think?
Man, it's tough. It's especially tough coming from Lou, and with Elizondo, his track record of his investigative revealings in the last couple of years have just kind of been embarrassing. So for it, to get any analysis on that, I don't take it very seriously at this point. I mean, the moon stuff is interesting. We got some of in the last couple of UFO file drops. I think there's been some very interesting things that have been recorded, also released by NASA. It seems like a lot of people would probably know there's something there that would hint at prior, civilization or beings being there or something. But it's probably a very classified, like that to me would be something that would be highly classified and not be able to be talked about by anyone. But the interesting there is in the clip with Lou in the beginning, he doesn't deny the NHI part. Like he doesn't deny, like he's like, you confirmed that NHI have been or are on the moon, and and then he goes like, there's actually photos that are monoliths there. And so that it's just interesting to me. Like I wonder how much other people know about that. Even like astronauts, I think if we're really, like the Artemis was just there, they just live streamed their whole trip there. And I feel like all of the moon has been mapped, already like that. So whether they're, News Nation has hinted on a couple times of NASA brushing things out or, erasing things. So it just kind of makes me think about that, of like how it could be erased where people, wouldn't know about this. The general public wouldn't.
Yeah, for me, the biggest red flag with Lou saying that was like, I don't know if the pictures have been released yet. Maybe they have, but they're going to be like, what do you don't know if they've been released yet? Like, wouldn't everyone be talking about these monoliths on the moon? Like, it's either him not realizing that he's revealing that it's sort of a setup behind the scenes, that those pictures will come out. He'll talk about it on the Japanese live stream. Does that make sense? And he's not sure of the rollout, right? Like, that there's this, collaboration behind the scenes, or he's just so dim-witted that he just doesn't even know what's going on with these photos. And how does he know about them? Who told him about them, right? So I think to me, it just revealed that this is what they do. It comes out, they talk about that. Why has Lou never talked about NHI on the moon before? Why wasn't that in his book? Why didn't he testify to that? Right? Like these monoliths, like you telling me they just discovered this? They just took pictures with the Artemis, or what? You know what I mean? Like where, from what? And again, no information, just monoliths, 90-degree structures, NHI on the moon. What? I mean, I need to see more things. It just seems more ridiculous from him, like you said. But I agree that the moon is fascinating, and that there are a lot of interesting things about the moon. I just don't know if this is one of them. But I agree that the moon it's definitely a fascinating thing. Did you ever see that movie? What's the movie called? I can't remember the name of the movie.
Moonfall, where the moon comes down to Earth or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Moonfall, and then they go in. It's like a Dyson sphere inside the moon. I was like, "Oh, dude, that's cool!" Like that theory and that idea is very interesting to me. I find that to be quite fascinating, to be honest with you. Yeah, the moon is super fascinating, and there could be some interesting things. And astronauts have said interesting things, and honestly, to me, the most interesting file that got released in all of the tranches. Okay, all of the first, second, third tranche was from the first tranche, where they showed some stuff from the Apollo missions, and one picture in particular that had these 3 dots, and they were like, "Well, we've done some data, whatever, and we've determined that that's more than likely a physical object there." Right? And you're like, "Wait, what? That's crazy. I want to know more about that picture and what's going on there." And they actually brought this up to him in the Japanese live stream as well, which is why he brought up that monolith, stuff. But I do find that fascinating.
Well, he also brought up, did you, I don't know if you had the other clip where he brings up the Skinwalker Ranch 2 dogs getting liquidated story. So
I didn't
have you heard that one?
But I heard it, but I didn't include it.
So I think, a lot of this is just these lore, I wouldn't imagine that like he really got deep into maybe like the Grush stuff or disclosure, but more of like this like lore of maybe other countries are getting interested and they're just like asking surface level questions. But I just thought it was interesting that like, he referred to that story of Skinwalker Ranch, 2 dogs getting basically liquidated by some blue orb. And I'm like, come on, man. Like,
I mean, yeah, he talked about a lot of weird orbs in that same Japanese thing. He also said something during that live stream that no one else caught, or at least if they caught it, they didn't talk about it. I brought it up in my video. Lou Elizondo he claims in this live stream that Trump did disclose aliens and UFOs already, that we've gotten disclosure from Trump already, from the files, that is disclosure from Trump, and that he did it that way to minimize, so that there would be no sort of financial collapse, and people would keep working and all this stuff. Like, he did it this soft way, but that's it. That's the proof. That's the disclosure. And I'm like, what? That is mind-boggling. Are you crazy? That's fucking stupid. That's disclosure from Trump. I mean, that's literally what Lou Elizondo says in the stream. And And because the Japanese reporters or whoever they were, they made a really great point to him, because they said, like, Trump doesn't really seem interested in this, and it doesn't seem like anything is being set up to actually disclose anything, because you would have to be worried about financial markets and societal collapse and all these different things. And he's like, they're like, nothing's really being done about that. So like, they don't really see any sort of disclosure coming from Trump on the horizon. And I'm like, that's a great point. Exactly. And that's where Lou Elizondo is like, well, I gotta push back a little. I differ with you. I think Trump has disclosed the files we got, the tranche, dump file. That is disclosure. Trump did it softly that way so that people would keep working and financial markets wouldn't collapse. But bitch, nobody thought that was disclosure. Nobody thought that was the smoking gun in any way, shape, or form. I just thought that was nuts. And he's either intentionally delusional or he's completely unaware of his delusion. And I can't tell. Lou Elizondo seems too smart to be that stupid. So then it makes you ask the question, what is he doing? Why is he fucking with people like this? Why is he doing this stuff? Why is he showing the irrigation circles, the chandeliers? He knows those aren't fucking UFOs. It's like, what is he doing?
I think it's, it goes back for me to the James Clapper thing that Ross Coulthart just brought up recently of being like this pawn, this. And to me, I would say, what is he doing? He's trying to sell this disclosure as what they're doing as disclosure is happening. Like, it's not based off of the evidence and just like you said, this isn't disclosure. And if you're into UFOs and you're into UFO evidence and you're looking at all these releases, we're having to be sold that this is disclosure by Elizondo going on these podcasts, be like, what do you mean disclosure's happening right now? Like, you should see it. And so, like, I think they're just jumping on these little opportunities. It's like, oh, we can get, to be honest, I do think that disclosure, the process of disclosure could happen in this official government released way where they're releasing this evidence. We just haven't gotten anything significant. They're releasing some good stories, some good cases, I think, and some, minimal evidence with that. But there's been no video. There's nothing. There's no holy crap moment that Tim Burchett's talking about where people are going to, really be impacted and have to think about stuff. So, for disclosure, and again, like, disclosure is such a broad word to define for people. But I think what's really happening now is we're getting this slow drip, controlled disclosure sold to us as this is how the process should go. This is what should be happening.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you're right. I think it could come in this form of, putting out files on the side, like there could be this sort of disclosure come that way. But in my opinion, it would be accompanied with an official press conference announcing, right? Like, hey, we're not alone. We've got evidence of this, that, and here's the files that y'all can look at, the declassified stuff that y'all can confirm some of this stuff with us. It wouldn't just, it just wouldn't be Luna going on Glenn Beck saying, you know what I mean? Fucking, we got some shit coming out, like it would be accompanied with this official press conference. And I agree that, if this is real, that there could be a process to kind of do this a little bit. So I'm fully aware of that. But like you said, I think you're really right. Like, what does disclosure really even mean? That a term is used so much, and there's so many terms in this community that are used so much, we don't really even know what they mean, or what the person that's using it means, right? Because it can have different definitions and it can be on a spectrum. So when someone uses that term or any term, UAP, UFO, NHI, corporeal beings, sentient plasmoid, fucktoids, you're just like, well, you don't really know what they mean, It's like, they just want to wow you, and then you go, oh shit, fucktoids! Oh my god, this is insane, dog. So yeah, it's a it's a tough process, and I know it's frustrating for everybody, and I get equally as frustrated. by all of this. And I think that's okay. People always like, oh, it's so easy to get angry. What the fuck, man? People making big claims about this supposed to change humanity, and then they give you some bullshit, and you're just supposed to be like, thank you, sir. Can I have another? Like fuck that. Fuck that, man. We keep the pressure on. That's how we get some movement and keep some of these people accountable. And yeah, the thing with Ross bringing up about Luis Elizondo being in the UFO Legacy program, and is he this person? And that's also my video. I'll go over all of that again, and Lou's response, and then Ross's response to Lou's response to Ross's initial statement.
Right.
The funny thing is that no one was bringing up, that I brought up, was Ross, when he first made the statement about Lou. He says, I think Lou's in the legacy program. I'm being told that, right? Like, that's what my sources say. And he's just not being forthcoming with the people, right? He's been lying to us for 10 years. But he's a good person. I like Lou. I understand he's in between a rock and a hard place, national security, whatever, all this bullshit. And then 5 minutes later, Ross is like, people from the legacy program, we should be pulling their fingernails out to get information from them. I'm like, wait a second. That's Lou. You just said Lou is in it. So you're saying we should be pulling Lou's fingernails out to get information? But I thought he was a nice guy. Like, which is it? What's going on here?
Well, and
that's where my whole challenging thing came from, where I wanted to debate people. That is from that fucking clip from Ross. That made me like, fuck this.
A week before that came out with Ross Cohart and Lou, they were both at the disclosure forum, sitting at the same bench.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't think they called that out. Like, that would have been so easy to just do right there, or to go live and have Lou and call him out there. And, but it's just like, oh, I still respect him, but I'm doing, now we've got this playing out over back and forth over podcasts. Now Lou goes on Kumo, and then Ross Cohart does another question and answer where he's talking, they're like subtly trying to send the messages to each other through the media to have this play out. And that's the most frustrating part, is just pull up and do a one-on-one interview and really call it out and on live TV and have that played out. But one of the things that I wanted to say about the frustrating part is, one of the analogies I like to make is, I treat ufology like I treat my sports teams. I'm critical as hell on my sports teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get frustrated. I get mad. But with ufology, you have an opportunity to get in touch with management. You can get your voice heard. You could say, hey, I don't like how this is going, man. Like, we need a new quarterback, bro. We need, running back is slacking. We need these new guys, but treat it like your sports teams, And so I think that's the mentality that I do, is like, that's why I'm a little bit critical, because I love the field and I love the topic, but I'm going to be like, if I don't like how the things are going with the team, I'm going to voice my opinion on what's going on.
And you should, and people should. You can't, I mean, ufology is an industry, and you can't go do these podcasts and expect people to watch you, right? Buy your books, get your documentaries, and then don't push back on me. Don't challenge me in any way for these big claims I made. You're disingenuous. You're this, you're that. Like, what the fuck? Nobody's allowed to ask any question. We're just supposed to take it, eat the shit sandwich, and not push back. I mean, again, you don't come out then. Don't put out a book. Don't put out a document. Don't put out shit. If you're not gonna be able to take some of that pushback. I can't have a YouTube channel and say all the shit that I say, and then be like, no, nobody better challenge me or push back on me or say something mean about me. Like, don't fucking search vetted on Reddit, bro. I'll tell you right now, dog, you fucking see Patrick's the fucktoid on there, bro. And that's just part of the game. That just comes with the territory. Like, and I don't even make claims. I don't even make extraordinary claims. I don't, I've never said I got abducted. I never said I fucking got secret sources in the government who tell me shit. And I don't say any of that shit. And I get shit, right? So, like, of course people are going to question big things you come out with. And again, the bigger the bubble grows, the more people that get interested in ufology, there's going to be more questions. You're going to have people that aren't in a cult, right? They're like normal people who come in. Oh, that sounds interesting. Let me go look into that. And then they get in and go, well, this doesn't make sense. Can I ask a question? Oh, goddamn, you motherfucking debunker. Oh, shit. They just close the door and be like, okay, I'm not coming back here anymore.
They go out of the
God
bushes.
damn it.
They're gonna go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. They just,
The Homer Simpson means they're like going back in the bushes, like, I'm good, bro. Like,
they're like, oh shit, why did I come in here, dog?
but you're right. It's going to get more people are going to come into and getting more interested. Like on the surface level, a lot of this stuff is just going to pique people's interest. But then they come in, and I think what's happening is it's such a like now culture, like we need the answers now, that people are getting increasingly frustrated when they aren't getting their questions answered, and things are still suspicious and not really lining up and making sense. So like you said, like there's going to be more people interested in the topic, but there's going to be more people asking those tough questions too and wanting accountability for the answers.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't avoid that. So trying to create this stigma in the UFO community of if you ask questions, we're going to come down on you. It's just not a good idea to get people involved in the topic. If something is real, it can be challenged. That's that simple. Now I get people like being, doxing and doing some crazy shit. I agree. That's fucked up. But honestly, that usually happens from people that believe in the stuff more than quote debunkers, like,
right.
Which is interesting. But, we have to learn to have some tough conversations and challenge each other's beliefs. Because guess what happens after that conversation happens or after the belief is challenged? Nothing. Everyone goes back to thinking what they were thinking. Like it's okay. Like let it happen. Like there's nothing wrong with it, which brings me to the next clip that I want to play. I think you've probably commented on this yourself, which is the Michael Shermer, Jesse Michaels. Have you heard about that? Have you seen that?
Yeah, the interview. I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's out today. Yeah.
I'm a member on Jesse's show, so I saw part of it. I saw like half of it already.
Okay.
And I'm going to play a clip, and we'll give a shout out here to Jesse's show. And I think Jesse uploaded, I guess, like a trailer to it. So let's play that, and then we'll come back to it. Oh, I guess I got to hit play. Okay.
Michael Shermer, it is an honor to have you here.
Dr. Michael Shermer.
Michael Shermer.
Michael Shermer. Good to see you with your pile of your writing.
You are probably the most prominent scientific skeptic in the United States.
I'm the publisher of Skeptic Magazine.
You are synonymous with pouring cold water on people's wanting to believe.
Yeah, that's right. I've been hearing about disclosure coming any day now for 40 years. When's it gonna happen?
I think we have an abundance of evidence in the open source world. I believe that now. So like I've already hit that threshold. What's your threshold?
Wow, much higher. If we're talking about aliens, I would say they're out there somewhere, but they have not come here.
What about observable anomalies we are seeing on Earth all the time?
Space junk, satellites, swamp gas, spinning eddies, sundogs, ball lightning, ice crystals, reflected light up the clouds. You're picking the winners.
We're picking the winners.
The vast majority of these things have a prosaic explanation. We don't give a shit about those ones.
Do you believe in dark matter?
I believe there's a mystery to be explained.
So you believe in UFOs as much as you believe in dark matter?
I don't like the word believe in.
What about General Neil McCaslin in isolation? That story is completely significant.
No, I don't. It's just totally random.
What do you mean? There was likely some sort of antediluvian civilization.
If there was an advanced civilization, where's their trash? Where's their tools?
If you read the book, your base case has to be that Charles Manson was probably an MKUltra
Either
mind
that or
control
cult
patient.
leaders can use sex, drugs, and rock and roll to get people to do crazy shit for them. If you were the CIA, would you really want to hire somebody, a lowlife like Lee Harvey Oswald, a nobody?
Yeah, and that's why I said I'm a patsy. That's exactly who you'd hire, somebody disposable.
I'm just a patsy.
I will admit that I want to believe. Will you admit that you want to disbelieve? Do you want to have a mystical experience?
Okay, all right. Yes, that could be. No.
I think you're running from your shadow. You're a secret mystic.
Very strange things happened to me last night.
You were once abducted by aliens.
Okay, you want to hear that story?
I do. I want to hear that story.
Nice. Yeah. What are your first thoughts when you see that, Astral?
I mean, damn, Jesse's production is so on point. It kind of makes me mad, dude. Like, how
So good, dude. So
It's
good. So good, dude.
As someone who is just starting, in the YouTube world, to see that is just like humbling to be like, damn.
Yeah.
But for the episode, I love the idea behind it. And I'm glad that Jesse was open to having him on, because we've seen people recently, not accept and want to be in these challenges where you're going against somebody that has an opposite view. I'll probably have a lot better idea after I listen to the whole episode, but just based off of what I think they were talking about is really important. And I think the crux of what skeptics are kind of getting down at is the lack of evidence that's out there, that it has to stand on its own. The whole believe, or, I want to believe, do you want to disbelieve? I think a lot of people in the field do have this like debunker type of mindset, that are on the skeptical side. And a lot of it, I think, becomes jaded. Like you could see it from someone like Kirkpatrick, where Kirkpatrick didn't just disappear because people were like, he's now made it a motivation of his to come out and like debunk this stuff. And I think a lot of it is just motivated by like becoming jaded in the topic, whether it's not getting the answers that people want, or just being frustrated that there hasn't been evidence. If you imagine, I've only really been into UFO disclosure for probably 4 years. Like, I could only imagine if I've been in this for like 30 years, dude, how frustrated I would be and how jaded I would feel if I didn't feel like there was being a lot of progress since I first started in it. So he's kind of gone above and beyond that of Shermer, of becoming this like creator for, he's got a magazine and a show. And so I think people try to like highlight that, but again, like you can't do that and not highlight the people in ufology who've made it made a living out of, the UFO topic and claims and all of that. I like to see, more of the conversation around the science of it. So I think it's refreshing to me that like it's about the evidence. It's really about like how scientific progress could happen within UAP topic. And it's just now, coming to, the forefront with this UAP council. So I like the conversation happening. I like skeptics being involved in the conversation. I think they should be involved in the conversation. Whether he's the best person for the job to be like the official like face of UFO skeptics, I don't know, but it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, for me, like I said, I watched half of it. I know how a lot of people are going to approach it. Jesse demolished him, and maybe people that like Shermer fucking demolished Jesse, and Shermer shouldn't even be allowed, and why are you platforming and this and all this. I just personally, I don't think the content of what they talked about was that important, in the sense that's not what mattered to me most about this. What mattered to me most is that two people who think differently were willing to sit down and talk like adults. And that's what we need more of in this. Michael can come from his viewpoint, and Jesse can come from his viewpoint and give his takes. And I for everything I've seen so far, it's just so respectful, almost like two friends sitting at a coffee shop, kind of going back and forth on things.
Right.
They're pushing back on each other, and Jesse's like, what do you mean this and that? But in a respectful way, and Shermer's like, oh, come on, and this, that. But again, they're cool. It's not they're not enemies. And I think that's what I'm taking the most away from this. More than anything, is just that two people like that are willing to sit down, and we just need more of that. If you believe in the topic and you think these things are happening, whether it be reverse engineering programs, crash retrievals, the US government has, crafts and bodies and all this stuff, then you should want to sit down with someone who doesn't believe it and test your ability to express your beliefs in it. Right? Your ability to, quote, convince somebody or tell them why you think it. If anything, do it for yourself, right? Just mentally, you're telling yourself why you believe this thing. Like it's more of a personal thing. Like you should just be challenging yourself when you step into a situation like that, rather than, that person's disingenuous, or that person did. I'm not talking to, it's like, come on, that's not going to get us anywhere. And Again, I from what I've seen, I thought Jesse made some good points in the conversation. I thought Michael made some good points, and I thought this is it. This is what this is about. People kind of pushing back on each other and either reinforcing more of what you believe or having you question something maybe you believe so blindly before and now don't. So again, for me, I think it's just an absolute win. And I think it's really cool. And I hope Jesse does more things like that and Michael does. And I know both of them are willing to do that. This isn't like a first time thing for them. Like Jesse's always been, from what I can see, someone willing to have these kind of conversations. And I love that. Because I would imagine he has friends that also don't believe. And it's just like talking to a friend that doesn't, quote, believe, right? You don't stop being their friend because, oh shit, you don't think there's a reverse engineering program? Fucking delete on the phone, like that would be crazy. I got friends that think it's all bullshit. I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to talk to them, like it doesn't, I don't care. Like, so, and Michael, same way. Oh, you believe? Let's talk. Let's see what's going on. Right. So yeah, I thought it was cool. I look forward to more things like that. And like you said, I'll land the plane here. The production is top notch, dog. The editing is his intros are so good. Like Chris Ramsey, right? Both those guys just do such a good job. They have great editors. I think Chris actually edits on his own. Yeah, and he probably has some help or something, but like Chris Ramsey really knows how to edit and like aesthetics and designing, and like that motherfucker is like on another level, dog. Jesse has people that do it for him, but he also has an eye to see what is good and what's not and what to put out and what the vision he has for his show. And it's phenomenal. It really does make it easier to sort of digest the product a little bit. And he's really finding his lane, I think Jesse is, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, the conversation was, I think it's well worth watching.
Yeah, what will be interesting to see now is if Jesse Michaels gets Sean Kirkpatrick on, because remember he was offering like $500,000 to get Kirkpatrick on to debate.
$500,000?
Yeah. You don't remember? It was a lot of money. It was like $100,000 or something like that. He was like, if I can get Sean Kirkpatrick to debate me, and it was like $100,000 or something like that, and then somebody else was like, I'll match it for $200,000. So it was like a couple of, and I think he did.
I need some new friends, dog.
Right, man.
I need some new friends that got that kind of dough, bro. I can't. Yeah. No, that's.
But I think it's kind of
cool.
like a gotcha. You might have thought it was a got you. That a lot of this stuff, and I think even another one that was recent was Gary Nolan and Mick West were talked about of having and I think Jesse Michaels offered to moderate that discussion. And to me, like, man, that would be so beneficial. It's not necessarily, and just like you were saying in the beginning, it's not about somebody winning or losing. It's about the conversation happening in a respectful way where you can see different sides of it. Because a lot of people that are skeptical and or debunkers or whatever, like I see their point, like I see where they're coming from, and I think the presentation or the delivery of what they're trying to say might always kind of rubs off the wrong way on people, especially like experiencers or people that are really into the topic. So I think like giving examples and like being a leader in like ways to have these, just like our debate space, ways, because these debates happen all the time within people in the community, but to see it elevated to where the top people, top podcaster, top skeptic are kind of going at these ideas in a respectful way, I think is the main takeaway here, is that it can happen, should be happening more.
Yeah, well said, man. Totally. I wish that Gary Nolan turned it down. He didn't want to do it. And you see that a lot. People are like, I don't want to. Come on, man. That's most skeptics and debunkers they're ready to debate. They're ready to talk about this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I challenged some people to debates. Gerb, Matt Ford, they both declined, of course. Ashton Forbes did take me up. I didn't even ask him. He just sort of threw his hat in, like, I'll debate you. Oh, I fuck it. Everyone else is saying no, so fuck it, let's do it. We're supposed to debate this Saturday, and we'll see how that goes. I personally, just from my own standpoint, just want to show people, anybody who's hung out with me in my open mics in Discord or on Xspace or something, can see that I'm just a regular dude. Like, I'm not gonna play gotcha. I'm not gonna come at you disrespectful. I'm not gonna get personal. I'm just we're just cutting the shit. We're just talking. So I kind of want to show people that that's all it would be. Like, and one, people think I'm an idiot, so I should be easy prey to come after, and talk with, and I am an idiot. I'm a goofball. So I think it should be people should have no fear, talking to me. That's for sure. But we'll see how this Ashton Forbes one goes. That's for sure. We'll see.
Do you
how
guys
this
know what
plays
you're
out.
debating yet, or like what topics you guys are going to go back and forth on?
I mean, yeah, we have one main topic, and then I'm sure there'll be other things that just come up as it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just the UFO legacy program.
Okay.
Ashton Forbes, and I hope I'm not misrepresenting his stance, but if I remember correctly from what he said, he believes there's a UFO legacy program that they're hiding, or at least a legacy program. Maybe UFO isn't attached to it, and he thinks they're hiding 0 point energy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think that there's a legacy program. One, because I can't think something does exist or doesn't exist if it's not defined for me. Right? Somebody's got to define legacy program for me. What do you mean by that? Because that's used so, like we were talking about with disclosure and other terms, it's just used, he's in the legacy program. What the fuck does that mean? That sounds good. It sounds like a good movie. It sounds like the good title to a Lost episode. But what the fuck does that mean? Then I can really kind of debate or talk about what I think about it. But no one can ever define it the same way. Everyone's got their own personal sort of definition for it, and that's kind of what we'll start there, and I'm sure we'll end up on wherever else. I don't know. I don't talk to Ashton very much. I've interviewed him before, but that's been a long time ago. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see where it goes, and I just want to put my hat in the ring and start there, and then hopefully other people will see it and go, okay, yeah, I'll talk to Patrick. I'll debate some stuff. Let's go back and forth. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's been an interesting wave, to be honest, of the last like 3 years, just observing it sort of from the outside, of seeing that wave come in, the whole MH370. I wonder if those will be brought up, the videos, because that's, if you post at all about that, I think there's a lot of, we talk about trolling and stuff, but it's great. I've posted, I'm not a believer of the MH370 videos.
Not me neither.
I don't think they're real at all. I think they're fake. But if you start posting, it was a time where you would get just the comments like, just, you're an idiot. I mean, yeah. So
yeah, toxic. It's still that way. It's still that way. And I'm going to, if that gets brought up in our debate, I'm going to tell Ashton, I don't think they're real. At all. I don't think the videos are real at all. He's convinced that they are. He has done a lot of research. I will give him that. But nothing to me to prove to that. And a lot of it is set up in a way that it's not that it's definitive proof. It's, here's what I think is proof. You should believe it, you idiot. And if you don't, you're fucking moron. Where I need evidence like the sun, where no one needs to convince me. I walk outside, I see it. It's a very simple. I don't need to believe in it for it to be true. Now, I wish people that had beliefs like that more just said, based on the research that I've done, that's my leading theory. I'm leaning towards that. I really think that's what it is, rather than no, it's 100% this, and you're fucking moron if you don't believe. I just don't think you're making any. I don't think you're building any bridges that way. I would respect people a lot more if they just said that. If they just said, based on my research and whatever, this is what I think is likely, or is what's happening, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You're leaving yourself open to, if new information presents itself, you can pivot and change, and that's how it should be. But whatever, teach their own. At the end of the day, people do whatever the fuck they want. All right, so what time is it? Okay, so you got a little bit of time here. I have one more clip I'm going to play, but first I'm going to hit a couple of these super chats so I don't forget them. This is from Con Kostas, what's up, my man? Khan designed our movie poster for Psionics.
Nice.
So shout out to him. He says new merch looks awesome. Much love, Pat. Awesome, Con. So good to see you here, dude. We were talking about you the other day in open mic. All bad things, by the way. All bad things, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, go get your merch. I had a bunch of people buy merch yesterday. So thank you to everyone who's been supporting the new merch shop, vettedmerch.store. I get this Believe hat. I got the Believe t-shirt, Believe hoodie, and some other things on there. Yes, thank you. And Astral, you said you're looking into getting some merch going, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up that Polaroid T-shirt. That Polaroid tee looks good. I'm and I like that, and I like that hat that you were wearing the other day with the V on the corner.
Yeah,
I like that one too. I might pick up. I might scoop those two up. Yeah. And the colors are nice too. You know, the different colors of the shirt are nice.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Oh, I thought you meant you were gonna do your own merch. Not that.
Oh no. I was gonna pick. Not yet. I mean, honestly, I've designed hats like this. Like I designed this hat.
Yeah,
I design all my hats. I haven't reached that point yet because when I went to contact people, were like, "Yo, where can I get that hat?" I'm like, "Not yet."
Dude,
so
not yet.
Yeah, but we'll get there. Yeah,
yeah. Well, dude, you'll kill it with the merch. There's no question. Your design is always impeccable. So that's sick. Well, I look forward to that. Yeah, man. All right, let's see here. Hypnotize Dingo. Bro, I hope that's not racist, but I'm just kidding. A nothing burger for everyone. Sure. It's not
the
very
UFO
specific.
files. I think he's the UFO files. He's probably referring to.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I don't know, but yeah, that's been a pretty big nothing burger to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm gonna roll up to one of these conferences, UFO conferences, with a food truck and serve nothing burgers. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hand people plates with just buns, no meat in it, just buns.
We were making up a menu for the flying saucer, the new diner or whatever, like disclosure fries and nothing burger.
I like it.
All these items that you can have for your. That's funny though. Yeah, pull up with the food truck, bro.
Yeah. New specials coming in 2 weeks. Everything is love it. My source said pie. I love it. That's funny. Yo, yeah, dude, that new diner setup is sick though, dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
That set is so fucking good, dude. Oh my god. Yeah. He kills it. Probed, what's up, Probed? Patrick, when on Saturday are you debating? Is it being moderated? It's at, if I remember correctly, it's at 12 p.m. Eastern, and it is not being moderated. Ashton is doing it on his channel, and I'm just jumping on to his channel. So it's not anything I'm hosting, whatever. Just because he, it's more, I'm more responding to him. This isn't the one I'm setting up or anything, but yeah, when I set it up, I do want to have it moderated, and so think of this like a pregame. This is like pregame, or what do they call that before the regular season? Pre-games? No, not pre-games.
Yeah. Preseason.
Is that what it is? Preseason. Yeah, this is like a preseason game. So just kind of a friendly conversation with Ashton about this stuff, but. When someone does finally take me up on a real debate, and I host it on my channel, I would love to have Probed, have you be involved, man, and we'll get Astral to moderate and do it. Just I got to find somebody that's willing to step into the lion's den with little old me, with little old fucktoid me. Okay, I'm not scary. All right. Real quick. Android says it was $100,000 that Jesse offered Dr. Kirkpatrick. I think I do remember that. I think it was for charity, and I was surprised Kirkpatrick declined that. I mean, it's going to charity, bro. You could be helping out little kids in fucking Africa, dog. Like, put your shit aside. Even if you got made to look a fool, is that not worth $100,000 going to some charity? To help out some kids or dogs, or you picked a charity. Kirkpatrick, yeah,
right.
That's a weird. I mean, he's willing to talk to Green Street for $0.
Yeah, he
For
just went on the
nothing going to
UAP.
charity.
I think the UAP Files podcast too. He went on there recently.
Yeah, bro. He
Yeah.
won't go do Jesse, and Jesse's like, "Hey, I'll put $100,000 towards charity." I mean, clearly Jesse is not going to do some gotcha thing. Like, he's cool. He will give you your space, and he's totally professional and respectful. And yeah, that's a missed opportunity there. And the same way, you know, some of these other people decline being challenged. I would say the same thing for Kirkpatrick. That's he
fair.
needs to step up as well with some people. All right. All right, man. Astral's got to go soon, so I want to make sure that we cover something real quick. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Here it is. Here it is. This is what I wanted to. I'm gonna make a video about this later. So I got a video coming out later tonight about this particular topic, and I don't know if this flew under the radar. This happened while I was on vacation, so it may have been talked about, but I don't know. But let's get your let me get your take here, and you'll see what I mean when I bring it up. So this is, have you seen this? This is from Luna on Glenn Beck talking about some big announcement or something happening. I actually haven't even watched this clip yet. I just bookmarked it because I saw the title, and I wanted to give a raw reaction here. So let's watch it.
Do you know something that has not been released? Do you know things that you feel the American people should know?
There will be an announcement soon on one other kind of factor to all this, but it's nothing that I think it'll just be kind of give the assurance that people will understand that the phenomenon is real. But no, I mean, for the most part, everything that we have been able to discuss in a skiff, we can now talk about publicly. And what I will say is, without a doubt, the phenomenon is real. The phenomenon is real. And so,
are you leaning one way or another, foreign or not earthly?
I think when you talk about these things, I don't want to say not earthly because we don't know
if
they're here or not. But what I would say is that energy is real. And a lot of these, you can see in some of them orbs, you can't explain it. And so I think that gets into a deeper discussion. But when you were talking about this, when I first started kind of on this journey with Representative Burleson and Representative Burchett, Representative Jared Moskowitz and Representative Gates, a lot of people said, you are going to ruin your career over this. It is one of the most widely questioned things now. And I think this gets into a deeper issue of, you know, do you think that we're the only, are you?
So that's what I was going to ask you. Instead of saying, do you know something? Let me say this. Is this a defense or is this a spiritual question? Which is the bigger question, defense or philosophical spiritual?
With pin on, defense and national security.
Okay.
With pin off, I think.
What is pin on, pin off? Oh, okay. Okay.
Pin on and off.
The ring. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, pin off. I think that it really kind of make people ask the fundamental question of, do you believe that well, first of all, do you believe in God or not? And then, do you believe that we're the only creation?
I don't understand.
Not speculating on nefarious or bad.
I don't understand how people are saying that this is going to make everybody question their faith. It's not going to. If I find out that there are other beings, why would it?
Well,
question,
Glenn,
why would
first
it
of
question
all,
faith?
there was a group of pastors. I don't even know who these pastors are that said that they had been briefed, and that was wholeheartedly not true. And Eric Burleson put out a statement to actually say, I don't know why my comments are being taken out of context. I think a lot of people that knew the phenomena was real, and I'm not saying that these pastors do this, but what I am saying is we have come across people in our investigations that were knowingly planting false information to discredit it, that were then stonewalling and obstructive, people that have lied. I mean, if you've
from
seen it on Reddit,
inside the house, from inside the government,
all over. People within the sector on UAP investigations, people within the chambers and intelligence, etc. The former director of Arrow very famously attacked our witnesses and us, and then the new director of Arrow is 180 different and has actually been doing an incredible job.
Shit, thou shalt not lie. Pastors getting called out there. Have you seen that, Astral?
I just saw the first little like part of it. I hadn't seen that whole clip, so that was good to listen to that. That was interesting.
Yeah. What do you think of
it's tough. It's tough to try to get an understanding of what Luna is actually talking about, of her, because it seems like she's in her mind confirmed to herself that the phenomenon is real. She kept kind of going back to this phenomenon is real. It kind of makes me think where the development of this conversation has come to, where I think that a lot of this is based around these like plasmoid orbs, because she referenced that of us capturing these plasmoid orbs in these evidence. That evidence is being presented to these politicians as something credible that we should take seriously. And they're going off and kind of making their interpretation of what that means in terms of aliens, or because Glenn Beck, I think, tries to narrow down on it is like, what are you talking about? Are we talking about extraterrestrials or, and she's like, well, it's just kind of like the other being plasmoid orb and it's very general. So I think also where is she getting her interpretation? The pastor thing is interesting because it's one of the first times that I've heard Luna acknowledge that there's active disinformation on what she's working on. Like what her and Burleson are doing are actively having disinformation thrown into the bit. And there was a big thing about the pastors and, affecting how disclosure, and this was right before the UFO files were coming out, of like how the UFO files and this disclosure was going to impact religion and all of this stuff. And pastors were warned. So I think a lot of again, it's the source information of who was the source. We didn't get the source of that. And we're not getting the source of anything Luna. Another interesting last thing I'll say, the interesting part was like, she's like, everything that we've talked about in the skiff, we can discuss now. Like everything's already, I felt like that's kind of like, oh, we've played our hand. This is what we've got. And there's no definitive statement that to me they're making in their understanding of what this is, other than the phenomenon is real. The phenomenon is real, bro. Like, what does that even mean? There's 100 different beings. There's interdimensional, there's crypto terrestrial, there's time travelers. Like Hal Puthoff did an ultra terrestrial paper where he basically laid out the 4 main hypotheses in a scientific way. And Luna's just making a blanket statement like, oh, the phenomenon's real, like people are going to have to deal with it. I don't think that there's just going to be so many more questions that are going to come from this that they're not going to be prepared to answer. And I think they're trying to like make this story down the road when just like we've been talking about, in these tough questions come, they're just going to be like, duh, I don't know. Is it a physical being or is it energy? They're just going to be caught in the story of like trying to explain away a lot of this to me. But yeah.
Yeah, man. Wow. You made a lot of great points, dude. Yeah, you made a lot of great points. I totally agree with, again, what does first of all, that would be another great example of why I use Bombshell so much on my videos, because she essentially just laid out what would be the ultimate human bombshell, in the sense that change humanity forever. But we're going to be releasing some information. Some stuff's going to come out that's going to prove that the phenomenon is real, but nothing big. It's not a big deal. What? You just said that this is going to prove the phenomenon is real. It's not a big deal. I'm sorry. That would be a massive big deal. That would literally be disclosure. That's what people want, is that to prove that, quote, this phenomena is real. But again, she doesn't, like you said, she doesn't define what the phenomena is. What does that mean? The phenomena is real. Does that just mean there are things that happen in the world that we can't explain? Yeah, we already think that. So what I was thinking when I was listening to her, if I was going to fake UFO sightings, I would use orbs to do it, because they're just balls of light. But if you needed a craft silver disc, that'd be fucking hard to fucking pull off. But an orb, a light in the distance, moving around, oh shit. That'll be just so easy to confuse people, and then tell them, well, it's a plasmoid sentient thing that's floating around. It's coming through a portal and a fucking interdimensional. You know, it'd just be so easy to convince people like, oh shit, what is that fucking light moving around? And I think it almost makes me feel like that's kind of what's happening. Like that, you know, that's why Chris Bledsoe uses orbs. Fucking, you know, because it's just very easy to fake that. I'm not saying it is all fake. I'm just saying that would just be the thing you would use to fake, because you'd have to get a fucking whole spacecraft together to try to fake some people out. You know, you had the orb thing is hilarious. That's like this big thing now. All of a sudden, we've moved from craft and ETs from Zeta Reticuli to fucking these orbs, right? These plasmoid beings, and you know, we brought up that Lou Elizondo stream earlier, right, from Japan. I don't know if you caught it too. I played it in my video. He brought up what he said. Oh, do you guys want to hear a humorous story? And he says, this intelligence official was sent to, you know, investigate this UAPs or something along those lines. And he was in a helicopter and he got followed by some orbs. And when he got back to base or wherever, like he was scared shitless, and you know, he was like, oh my god, what's going on? And he's like, what a funny story. Wait a second. Like, I mean, first of all, no information. Second of all, that's funny. Like, this guy got his literally shit his pants in a helicopter because he said orbs were following him in a helicopter, right? Like, I just thought, this is a joke. What's going on? Like, there's no information on that. So I don't know. The orbs thing almost seems like the disinformation that she's sort of talking about. And I don't know if she's aware of where exactly the disinformation is coming from. She's quick to call out Arrow.
Right.
And I'm not saying they're perfect by no means, at all. But how about pointing that at some other people that are around the community that are clearly bullshitting? Like, why aren't they being, you know, called out about this stuff? And I get it. She's on a podcast. You're just shooting the shit. These aren't prepared statements. But like you said, dude, people are going to start to ask her some questions. She's got to have her ducks in a row. She's got to be able to answer this stuff in a way that isn't left ambiguous, that people are going to ask follow-up questions, right, to this stuff and try to get to the nitty-gritty, just like she would do in a hearing, right? When she's trying to question people, she's trying to hit them for details and facts and let me hit you with the follow. So it's like the same. It's almost like we need to take Burchett, Burleson, Luna, and they need to testify, and people need to interview them and start fucking hitting them with some questions about, you know, what's happening and what's going on. But I guess at the very least, I know I'm being critical, but at the very least, I do want to say that I'm grateful that she's interested in the topic, was told this is going to ruin you, and she decided to go forward with it anyway, because it sounds like it's something she believes in personally, or at least the idea of it. And you know, I can appreciate that. And I can appreciate the time and effort that she's put into it. And I can't imagine it's very easy to do what she's doing. So I just want to make sure that I balance that criticism out with that. But
yeah, I think at the same time too, like, while they would seemingly try to frame it as like, oh, I'm going out against a limb here of like my constituents don't really, at the same time, I think this has brought them a lot of attention and support, you know, behind the public. So I think they're kind of like, they're leaning into it, which, you know, go for it. And I think to become, you know, but just like where we turn the corner in this is where we're not like, please, whistleblowers, give us another nugget so we can, you know, get this. It's more of like, all right, we're going to put you on the stand and we're going to ask you, what the hell was OSAP? What were you guys doing? Where's the data? You know, did you guys have physical craft? You know, where's the craft? Where's the base? Where's the person who is in charge of it? Who are these gatekeepers? You know, name some names, get some people on the stand to really take some accountability and answer these questions. It's frustrating to hear after the congressional hearings, these, you know, the witnesses, whistleblowers who have testified, after they've testified, for them to come out with additional information that would have helped the investigation had they revealed it in front of Congress. So, you know, Lou Elizondo, monoliths on the moon. You couldn't say that 2 years ago when you were under the stand, you know, and well, just to go back to that, I think Dopser, to have this like Dopser excuse looming, like, oh, I couldn't talk about Roswell, but I can now in my book. Can't talk about the moon stuff, but now I can't. Dopser's allowing me. It's like we're holding the hand of the government to be like, can I talk about it now, Mister? Like, am I allowed to? Am I allowed to reveal stuff to the public now? And we're playing the game. We're being like, oh, like these are the guys who we want. We want them holding the hand. But when we say, oh, we want somebody to risk it and to go to jail, it's like, whoa, buddy, calm down. We got to play this game the way the government wants us to be played, so we can get the information instead of like catastrophically coming out with some stuff in the public to be like, holy cow, man, these guys are revealing some really important information. We got to get behind this. And I think, it's kind of like the opposite is happening. But yeah, it's just kind of frustrating, hearing that that the phenomenon is real. And I've been trying to research this for the last 5 years and haven't had anything confirmed to me other than personal experiences that the phenomenon is real to me. So,
Sure. Yeah. Which is very powerful. Personal experiences are very powerful. Probably the most powerful experience you can have, to be honest, right? Is that personal experience. And I totally understand where people come from when they've gone through it personally. It makes so much sense that it's hard to relate to people like that experience. First of all, try to describe it to them and try to get them to understand. It's like maybe a cool spot, maybe a cool place you've traveled to. It's really cool. And you come back and you're trying to tell people about it. Like, it's just like, dude, you just got to go.
Right.
You just got to go check it out. Right. Like it has to happen to you for you to really understand what it's all about, because, people generally aren't good at messaging, describing and selling it, right, to somebody what that experience is like. So, like, I totally understand the personal experiences, and in fact, that's probably what people should wish for more than disclosure from the government. Just wish for personal experience, because that might bring you a personal disclosure that, at that point, why do you need the government to come out and say it? If you have what you feel is your own personal disclosure, I would be satisfied with that. Me personally, if I had something that was so overwhelmed, that just like, I wouldn't give a fuck anymore. I'd be like, I'm good. I know what's going on. Like, I whatever, man. Y'all haven't figured it out yet. That's, y'all keep working at it. Because there is just such a focus of, please, government, give us what we need. Give us what we want for this, so we can all believe it. Meanwhile, it's just made it harder, in my opinion. So
that's what's made it so different for me. I think coming into the topic is I started with the psi stuff, with parapsychology and these psychic experiences. So for me, it wasn't like I need to confirm the UFO topic is real for having these experiences. I was having precognitive dreams and explain, if I were to give, and that led me to the topic and becoming frustrated to be like, dang, everybody's so interested in getting the evidence, but not really exploring the phenomenon themselves to get an understanding. So if I were to give, and jump off here, but I'll give 4 of my things that I think would be a good focus on personally instead of the UFO evidence. And that's precognitive dreaming. So like paying attention to your dreams. And this is just to gain a better understanding of like consciousness and life. It's not necessarily like you're going to have this happen and understand that UFO is real or aliens are real or any, but it kind of got me in tune to start thinking about stuff like that, of like non-human intelligences and like different experiences. So the first one would be dreaming, precognitive dreaming, of like paying attention and logging your dreams. The second one is remote viewing. So actively being able to test out, psychic skill, not necessarily like you become psychic and you're able to like read people's thoughts, but you kind of do a trial, or you have, a telepathy test, and you're like, holy crap, like that was kind of crazy. Like this might be interesting. This is kind of real. So it's kind of testing out through telepathy, extrasensory perception, or remote viewing. So that's the second one. The third one is exploring out-of-body experiences. So that's originally what got me interested in all of this, is, exploring astral projection and out-of-body experience. So like getting into deep meditation and consciousness exploration of like looking within yourself to gain a new understanding of like just reality. And then the fourth one is CE5, heist, psionics, nowadays psionics. So actively going out and trying to establish a communication or a connection with something that, that you would consider, UAP or non-human intelligence. And all four of those, when I actively explored it genuinely and had a motivation, I had like interesting experiences. It wasn't like an alien came down and was like, "Hey, we're real." But I had the light in the sky that I felt like I was communicating with. I had a precognitive dream in which I felt like I had the exact same experience. I've had a couple remote viewing trials in which I felt like I saw the target within my mind and got, got that. And I've read about out of body and astral projection for 3 months straight and was obsessed with it and had my first out of body experience. So I think like to personally explore this topic is probably the most powerful way you can do it.
Yeah, man. Well said, dude. So well said, dude. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And like I said, well said, man. I know you got to go, dude.
Yeah.
So,
appreciate it, dude. Yeah.
Of course. Let me show this real quick. Good conversation. You should hear that too, Astral, before you leave.
Nice.
We did it. We did it. Y'all, we can shut it down. I'm gonna shut it down, y'all. We shut it down. We're gonna go out on top. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go a little bit longer. I'm gonna go 30 more minutes, answer some chat. I want to thank Astral for coming on and hanging out and chatting. Again, check out his YouTube channel. I put a link in the description, so you could go check it out. Is there what else do you want to shout out, Astral? Your ex?
No, I mean we got the space tonight. I got a interview, my first interview ever with Gene Sticko. Is coming out in like an hour and a half on my YouTube channel. So everybody, feel free to check that out. It's perfect timing. But I'll be in the space later doing the remote viewing. If anybody wants to try remote viewing, or check it out or join the discussion, Patrick jumps in from time to time. But yeah, man, appreciate you having me on. Love the discussion.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'll see you tonight in the X Space for sure. I'll be there.
Later, guys. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, man, y'all should check out Astral's X Spaces. They're the only ones I go to. Although I like Tupa's and Red's X Spaces too, if I could ever make it into those. But Astral's is like a set date and time, so it makes it easier for me to know when it's going on. But he does remote viewing there every Thursday. They do a remote viewing thing, so you can jump in, try remote viewing, and then you just have a general discussion. So it's really good. All right, let's get to some questions, y'all. Let's hang out. I'm gonna hang out with y'all here for 30 minutes, and let's hear from y'all. Let's see what some thoughts you guys have. Any questions? Hit it here. I'm gonna try to find something while we're hanging. Andrew says, I want to hear about Astral's out-of-body experience sometime. Yeah, man, you should ask him in the X space. I'm sure he would talk about it for sure, without question. He's probably felt like he talked about it so long ago, he just doesn't even talk about it anymore, right? So yeah, that'd probably be good for him to bring it back up and discuss it. Okay, well, I don't see any questions here, y'all. Come on now. Pick a World Cup winner. There we go. That's a good question. Well. Well, I think the leaderboard says, if you follow the stats, France has the best chance to win the World Cup. I don't I believe that to be true, but I don't think it's such an easy decision. I think it's going to be between France, Spain, and England. And there could be a dark horse in there for sure. There always is. There's always a dark horse. Argentina, you never know. I think there's a lot of good teams and it can kind of go either way. I'm really rooting for Spain. And we'll see what happens. Tomorrow is a game that I'll be watching. So let's hope that that goes well, because Mexico's out, USA's out. That was sad to see. I was really rooting for USA, man, of course, and they just don't have it. They just don't have it. But they will. This is the best World Cup they've ever done, period. So that was cool. Super Joey, why do you think Congress doesn't take subpoena actions? Because they don't have the power to. And, that's a lot to subpoena people. And they've been threatening it a long time. I'll subpoena this, but, it's like, I mean, I just wouldn't throw that around until you're actually going to do it. It's like that guy at the bar that's like, I'll kick your ass, man. Like stupid. They kind of know who they should be subpoenaing, and you need a reason to. You need some evidence or proof. It can't just be, well, Joe Schmo told me that so and so is hiding UFOs, so let's subpoena him. It doesn't work like that. So, will that change? Hopefully. We haven't had a UFO hearing in a long time, so hopefully one will be coming up soon. Who would testify? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with all that. We're kind of also in the middle of a war. So that could be holding things up for sure. Why does Jesse Michael get a pass for being a Peter Thiel stooge? I don't think that's fair, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Why is he a Peter Thiel stooge? What evidence have you seen for that? Is it just because he worked for Peter Thiel that makes him? Does that make sense? That's kind of illogical. You know how many people work for Peter Thiel? I mean, if you work for Amazon, are you a Jeff Bezos stooge? Like you're not who your boss is, right? How many people y'all have jobs? And what if someone said, "Oh, you're this person's stooge," whoever your boss's name is? You'd be like, "No, I'm not. I don't even like the guy or whatever. I have nothing to do with him." It seems kind of lame, in my opinion. It seems like an easy thing to say, in my opinion. Brian Parker Raza says, thanks for keeping the movement. Hey, man. Thank you, Brian. Pardon me. Y'all are the ones keeping this going. It's not me. I promise you. I'm nobody. It's all of y'all collectively watching, following this topic, interested in it, supporting all of the different creators that are out there, supporting the content. Without people interested, this goes away. I'm one cog in the wheel, and collectively it's all of us that sort of keep this going. So thank you, and thank you to everyone that sort of makes that possible. They say, what if UFOs are Pokemon? Well, then I'm fucked, because I don't know what Pokemon is. I mean, I've heard of it. I just don't know what it is. Like, I don't follow any of that. I would be screwed. I want to see the Spanish streets if Spain wins. If they win the World Cup, pandemonium. I was here. The first time I came to Spain was in 2010, and the summer of 2010. And that's the World Cup was happening. And Spain won the World Cup for the first time ever in the history of Spain. They win the World Cup while I'm here. My first time coming to Spain. It was madness. Absolute madness. I saw old ladies falling to their street, falling on their knees, crying, like, Madre mia, it was just like, holy shit. It was nuts. It was exciting. It was just like everybody's celebrating. I mean, it was just nuts. I loved it. Yeah, if they win, it will be absolute madness here. Without a doubt. It will be madness in a good way. Lee says, personal experience is really the only reason I follow the subject. Crazy experiences, I just have to lock away inside and ignore the best I can. Well, I don't think you need to lock it away and ignore it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Having a personal experience. I think there's a lot of people that probably would agree with you, Lee, that's why they're here too. They had something happen to them that they can't explain, and they want answers. It inflamed their curiosity even more. That's not why I'm here. And there's probably many people like me too. They're just interested in the idea of it, right? Oh shit, aliens, UFOs. This is cool. Life somewhere else coming to us. Like, yes, humanity, curiosity, right? Is there something to this, right? It sounds very exciting because I'm a very curious person. I like the unknown. So, but yeah, I hope you don't lock it away inside, and I hope you don't ignore it. There's definitely plenty of people to talk to about it. Have you seen the trailer for the new movie Hope? Yes, I did. Yeah, I don't want to. I guess is it giving it away? I don't know. It's like it's an alien movie. Looks good. I'm gonna watch it. Looks good. Not gonna lie. Your thoughts on Burleson's interrogatory letter to CIA for Virginia flight records? I don't really have any thoughts on it. It's not. I don't have any thoughts on the letter. I have thoughts on the results, and since I don't know what the results are, I can't have any thoughts on it. You know what I mean? I need to see what comes of it. Then I'll get excited. But are they doing something? Sure, absolutely, as they should. They've been saying that they're going to do that. So this is just fulfilling a promise they made a long time ago. But we'll have to see the results. I'm more concerned with the results. Why didn't the alien in Batista's video have a UFO? Wasn't there a whole thing about summoning UFOs? I agree. I personally didn't see anything in the video except lights that I couldn't distinguish for anything. I like Mike, but that video does nothing for me. And I think for a lot of people. Again, I want to see the whole process on video. I want to see Mike Batista on camera summoning, tilt the camera to the sky, catch the UFO landing, zoom in, get the beings coming out, the whole shebang, a oneer, right? Instead of a 15-second clip that they just tell you is interdimensional beings of blurry lights. It doesn't do anything for me. Vetted podcast. Do you think it's possible Lou has a brain injury from the motorcycle crash? He had a bad head blow. Seems like he's been off ever since. Lost the plot. Well, first of all, I don't wish ill will on anybody or physical injury. So I know Lou had a motorcycle crash, and I hope he's in recovery and doing well, just for his sake and his family's sake. And I'm not going to speculate about if he has a head injury and he seems, I'm just not going to do that. It seems disrespectful for me to do, to be honest with you. Why do we want another useless UFO hearing? None of the evidence we desire, if it even exists, would be divulged in a public hearing. All we ever get is, I can answer that in a closed setting. Sure. Sounds like a rhetorical question. I mean, I get it. You're disappointed in the hearings and you just don't see what's the point of to keep wasting time. Totally understand where you're coming from. And you're allowed to feel that way. Jesse is not a stooge. He was a recruiter for Teal and the PSYOP. Sorry, it's too important to brush off. Well, you haven't shown any evidence of that, so gonna need to see some evidence, not just you saying it. Unfortunately, that's just not good enough. So, as easily as you make that claim, that's as easy as I'll brush off your claim, right? If a UFO landed on the White House lawn, some nutcase will shot the alien and start real war of worlds, and people will buy food and attacking other American people. We will not win. Well, that is would be definitely disappointing. Guys, please don't shoot at the alien spacecraft. We don't want to start, cosmic war. Yeah, hopefully the orders will come in. Do not shoot the UFO. That would be good. Oh gosh. Oh man, I'm getting behind here. Could the war be a purposeful delay to this? I mean, anything could be, right? As far as possibilities, the better question is, what is the probability of this? I don't know. Do things happen in the world as a distraction to other things? Yes. Is that what's happening here? Could be. It could be a mix of things. It could be like, well, they want to go to war, but hey, icing on the cake is it'll do this other thing too. Yes, I don't know. I try not to understand politics and all that bullshit. I don't trust it. Not really a fan of politicians and any of that shit. It's too hard to tell if they have your best interest in mind, and most of the time, it just doesn't feel that way. That they have our best interest in mind ever. They have their own interest in mind, their own bank account interest in mind. Interest and interest. Is Trump a patsy for the deep state to divert attention away from the NHI intelligence? Again, what's the probability of that? And just FYI, the I in NHI is intelligence. So it's like saying a chai tea. Chai means tea. So you're saying TT. So you're saying the non-human intelligence. If we are manifesting these things, then wouldn't they be spiritual and not alien? That's a good philosophical question. I don't know. What does spiritual really even mean? Could aliens be spiritual in some way as well? I mean, it depends. It could be both, right? It could be both. But that's a great question and a really good discussion to have, to be honest with you. That's a good like fireside chat conversation to have. I like that question, for sure. What made you move to Spain? I love Barcelona. Barcelona's great. My wife's from here, and I lived here before for a couple years. So just came back. That's it. Pretty simple. Do you have dual citizenship? No. Have you seen the close-up of the triangular UFO that's been on Reddit? No. That's interesting. Okay, a triangular UFO that's been on Reddit. No, I have not seen that. To be honest with you, I don't go on Reddit anymore. I used to check it out a lot more, but it's just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's changed. I'm not trying to summarize it all as one bad thing, but I just don't see anything ever good on Reddit, if I'm being honest. Not that X is any better, but I tend to find, I guess I found certain accounts on X to follow and get more information, cooler things. And on Reddit, you don't really follow accounts. You go to these subreddits, right? And it's just a dump of shit. And you know what I mean? So, but I haven't seen it. If it's cool, I'm sure it'll get shared and people will talk about it and I'll take a look. Jesse just recruited Jason Somoza, and Night Shift seems to be aligned. Cool. How's the illegal situation where he lived? What? Come on. This is not a political show, y'all. AJ Raffles. Patrick, how can I send information to you? You can't. Pat, is there a focus for you and Ashton talk? Yes, the main focus is the UFO Legacy Program. And then I'm sure there'll be other things that branch off from that. Why do you think we are still seeing Whitley Strieber showing up on channels? He was recently on Corbell's. I just feel like he, Greer, and Lou are not super legit or honest. I hear what you're saying. He's considered an OG in the community, you know. And a lot of people think like he initially had a real experience and then he just kind of just started to add to it and have all this stuff all of a sudden happening to him. He got an implant. He's talking to aliens all the time. You know, he communicates with them through his implant, you know, starts to get a little ridiculous. But I just think he's just been around a long time and people just kind of like he's grandfathered in sort of thing. That's what I think. I don't know. Fleischer, love your channel. Appreciate all the hard work. Always instant click when I see your videos. Just want to say thanks. Thanks, Fleischer. Really appreciate you, man. And Fleischer gifted 5 veteran memberships. Look at that. Beautiful. So I think those are chosen randomly. So 5 of y'all randomly will just become vetted members. Really appreciate you, Fleischer. It's very, very kind of you, dude. Hang on, I got a cough, y'all. Okay. I like the Abyss nomenclature for underwater aliens, NTI, better. Also separates it from potential human or terrestrial AI. NHI is boring. All right, yeah. Abyss, what a great movie. James Cameron. The behind the scenes knowledge of like how they filmed that is insane. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. NTI. Is that what they used in the movie? Non-terrestrial intelligence? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen the movie. So I hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's definitely a fair point. I need to watch that movie again, to be honest with you. That's what I need to do. Yeah, it's almost like no term works. You know what I mean? It's just like you want to say NHI and you know what people mean, but then they're like, but dogs NHI. I've said that myself. And it's true. It's like, and then it's like, well, aliens, yeah, but what if they're interdimensional, time travel? You know, it's like, fucking A, man. You know, you just can't win. You know, you're just saying anything that isn't humans on Earth, like you know what we're talking about. It's hard to find the right language to use. Yeah, Pavel and all of them are falling in line. All the creators in the sphere are hoping he will notice them and give them a shout out. I don't think that's true. Maybe there's some people like that, but it's really hard to just put everyone in a box. You know what I mean? Like, just put everyone in a box. Maybe they just like his content and like what he does. There's nothing wrong with that as well. You know what I mean? There's also some of that to consider. I'm just saying, if we're going to consider all possibilities, that's also a possibility. And for you to say that, you would have to know what's in their hearts of those creators, and you don't know that, right? So you're throwing out a claim that's you have no way to prove. And I don't think it's fair to those creators. I'm just saying. I mean, you could be right, but you could be wrong. From a professional standpoint, how do we manage the shock of NHI being revealed to the world? You don't. And that's the problem, in my opinion. People trying to think of that. People deserve the truth, and that's it. Right? You know, that's what that's why they burned Galileo. Right? That's why the church tried to control the reality of people. And that's a mistake. Right? The earth is round and we orbit the sun. Just tell people. They can handle it. Life will move on. Right? And the moment you try to control the reality for people, it just doesn't work. It never works out. So my thing is, you don't try to manage the shock of NHI being revealed. You just do it, because it's like trying to control speech. You just have free speech. Free speech is messy. That's how it works. If you can't defend the speech you hate the most, then you don't actually believe in free speech. Do you see what I'm saying? And if you're trying to minimize or manage what this reality shifting knowledge would do to humanity, you already lost, in my opinion. You can't do that, because who's going to decide, right? We can't. Are those people being elected? Are you choosing the people who are going to manage that? No. And what if I don't like who you choose? And what if you don't like who I choose? So the only real solution is just let people know. It's a shock. It'll be messy, but that's just how it is. Because it's going to be messy either way. In my opinion, it'll be more messy if people, quote, try to manage the shock of it. That's how I look at it. Oh, shit. I'm so behind on videos here. Chris Bartel. Shout out to Chris. What's up, man? While everyone argues distracted over disclosure, Space Force is openly preparing for the possibility of conflict in space by 2030. Different conversations, different priorities. Yeah, man, y'all need to be following Chris on X. He makes a lot of great points, and he brings up this point a lot, and I think it's something to consider. There's a whole new battlefield that we're just unaware of, and it's just outside our orbit. And absolutely, countries are going to be fighting over space and the space around space, if you know what I'm saying, right? It's absolutely going to happen. And there's no question that each country would do whatever they needed to ensure supremacy in that realm. Yes, the US government would make up UFOs to cover up their own space technology that could give us an edge, right? So, again, Chris makes a lot of great points, and I think he's someone you should be paying attention to. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so far behind on my on the chat here, y'all. This isn't easy. Okay, I y'all should try this. I'm trying to read everything. I take every comment seriously, to be honest. Patrick, have you seen an aerial photo of Skinwalker Ranch? There's a big round agricultural circle right next to the property. Wouldn't Lou have known that before his field photo? I think Lou did know. I think Lou knew exactly what he was sharing. That's the bigger question. The bigger question to ask is why? Why would he share that if he knew it was fake? You telling me he didn't know that that was an irrigation circle? You telling me he thought that was a fucking UFO? No. I don't think so. I will be going to Skinwalker Ranch, or at least the surrounding area, in September. I haven't said that publicly yet, but that's happening. I'll be taking some trips soon. Going to Psy Games in Charlotte, North Carolina. Going to Vegas. Going to Los Angeles. Going to Vernal, Utah. Going to Dallas. Got a lot of places I'm visiting starting at the end of the month for about 2 months of travel. Going to be filming for my new documentary and just stuff for Vetted. So I'm very excited to get on that. And going to be hanging out with Gino from the Y-Files again for a lot of that. So very excited. Cannot wait. I'm very excited to get back on the road and do some shit. It's going to be cool. I ask cause you just said you want another congressional hearing, which is nothing but trust me, bro, testimony. But then you keep saying testimony isn't good enough, which I agree on. What's the question? I don't know. But then you keep saying testimony isn't good enough. It's another rhetorical question. You got to ask me like an actual question here. I get what you're trying to do. Trying to get me in a gotcha, right? This is the whole point of this, right? You think you've got some sort of intellectual checkmate on me, right? Patrick, how can you ask for congressional hearings, but then you say testimony isn't good enough, right? Well, let me tell you, UAP or SAP, just because something hasn't worked out in the past doesn't mean it won't work out in the future. Let's say I'm trying to create a new dish and I'm in the kitchen as a chef, right? And I'm cooking and I keep failing at the dish that I'm trying to make. Do I just give up or do I keep trying till I get it right? You see, in my past, where I come from, you keep trying and you don't give up. You keep going for it. So just because the congressional hearings we haven't had before that are no skin off my back, they don't affect me in any way. My life keeps going whether they happen or not. So yes, I want to see more of them because even if the possibility is small that something could come out of it that could change, why wouldn't I want to see that? Again, it's no skin off my back, right? So I can still say testimony isn't good enough, but that doesn't mean it isn't good, right? There could be a data point or something that leads to something else. There's still a small part of me that hangs on to something coming from this, right? So that's where I'm at. And so there is no gotcha here, bro. I just think differently than you, right? So just remember, just because the way you think doesn't mean that it's right and everyone else is a fucking idiot. That's not how it works. We're allowed to have different viewpoints and different opinions on this. And if that upsets you and you're upset that people don't see it the way you see it, I think you got your own problems. But I know who you are now. Now I remember exactly who you are. And I'm just not a fan of the disingenuous conversation. But hey, I hope that answered your question, even though you didn't ask one. And if it didn't, I'm sure you'll complain about it for forever. Have at it. People who don't get the bombshell titles annoy me. You have to keep explaining that to people. It's okay, Fleischer. I understand, to be honest with you. If you don't pay attention or you just haven't seen me explain it, I could see how it'd be annoying. I'd probably be annoyed myself until you find out why. And then at that point, people can decide if they're still annoyed by it or not. I get it. It's all good. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. And I don't mind keep explaining it to people. It is what it is. In a way, it's a good test to see if people actually watch the videos, because they'll complain about the video based on the title, and then I know that they haven't seen the video. So they'll basically review a movie by just watching the trailer, right? It's like, well, you haven't even seen the movie yet, right? So I can tell when people don't watch the videos, they just are mad at a title. First of all, me personally, I've never gotten mad at a YouTube title in my life, ever. I've never seen a YouTube title that pissed me off so much that I had to comment on. Like, first of all, I don't even comment, but it's kind of insane that people can get so aggravated by a YouTube title, which honestly leads me to believe they're not actually aggravated by the bombshell. They just don't like me and my views. So that just becomes a vessel for them to be mad at me, if that makes sense. That's how I really think about it, if I'm being honest. Even if I didn't use bombshell, those people would be complaining about Vetted either way, if you ask me. If I take bombshell out, they're still gonna complain. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So it's all good. We got 10 minutes left to ask Pastor questions, Desmo. I'll stay on a little bit longer here. We'll keep hanging out, having a good time. Was the rumor about talking to all the heads of church true? That's a tough one. Some people say yes, some people say no. I think there's probably a truth in the middle, meaning, yeah, maybe there's something happened, but I think a lot of the pastors are trying to, position it as being some official briefing from the White House, like they're being let in on secret shit. That's not what it is at all. The same things they're hearing, you hear on Vetted or any other channel. You know what I mean? So they're not getting any information you're not getting. Oh man, I'm really far behind. I apologize. If you had to pick one, would you pick the UAP phenomenon to be extraterrestrial, cryptoterrestrial, or homegrown human technology? Well, that's a good question. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't necessarily have to be crypto, but I extraterrestrial something. Yes, something else. Like, to know for certain that we're not alone in this universe would be pretty cool. But I realize that could bring some interesting times that may not go down so well. That is a fear, but it would just definitely, because we all think, oh, we're probably not alone in the universe, right? There's too many planets, and we're probably not. But until you definitively know, that's just a whole nother realm, and I that would be cool. Just a whole new culture, a whole new civilization, a whole new thing to learn about would just be so fast. My curiosity would, outweighs my sincerity for like thinking about humanity a little bit. My curiosity sort of outweighs it, which I'm not saying that's a good thing. This is interesting. Do you trust Polymarket's 6% projection for disclosure this year? I feel like prediction markets are very reliable. I have a problem with that because you got to look at what the stipulations are for what those bets are, right? You got to see what the stipulation is, and it may not, you know what I mean? Disclosure. They may define disclosure in such a way that it's kind of bullshit. So they'll be like, yeah, we got disclosure, and people win the bet, but you didn't really get disclosure. You know what I mean? It's kind of nonsense. All right, I got 5 more minutes here. I got some stuff I got to do. All right, let's get down to the new comments. Make sure I'm not missing out on anything. Sorry if I asked before, but did you get around to seeing Signal 1? I did not, and I do have it on my list to watch. I was on vacation for 2 weeks, doing shit, filming, whatever.
I haven't had time. If so, curious about your thoughts on delivery compared to disclosure date. Also see childhood's end per 1973 Matthew. No, man, thank you. I have not seen it. I do have it on my list to watch. I've looked it up. I've seen about it. You know, I saw the trailer. Like, I do want to see it, but I just literally have not gotten around to it. So I will get to it soon enough. Gem Girl gifted 1 vetted membership. Thank you, Gem Girl. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Oh shit, so you already asked me about this. You ever get a chance to see single one? Damn, my bad, Mr. Nightman. Yes. I don't think it matters if you believe in God or not, like Luna said. Not in this context. Aliens, demons, etc. It's what they are regardless. Yeah. Great point, Gem Girl. It is what it is. Just like what people thought the sun was a god, and this, you know, the tides and the moon and the sky and all these things, you know. So I agree. It is what it is. Whatever we think doesn't matter. It will be what it is. And we'll have to accept that, you know, whatever that thing is. So great point, Jim Girl. Really like that. Great point. Monkey Boy. Love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep the bombshells coming. Appreciate you, Monkey Boy. Yes, man. We'll keep the bombshells coming, baby. Every day. Oh, yeah. It looks like I need to watch Childhood End. All right. I haven't even heard of that. I will definitely check it out. Childhood End spamming is successful. Yes, it is. Yeah, I hadn't even heard of that one, so I'll definitely check that out. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. My apologies. All right, I'm gonna sign off here, y'all. I want to thank everyone for jumping on with Astral and I and hanging out and talking. Really enjoyed the stream. Felt good to be back doing a live stream. And I got a video coming out later tonight. Should be a good one. Got a good one coming out tonight for sure. So, and if you haven't checked out the last 2 videos that I put out, I spent a lot of time on those. So please check them out if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, Veras, every day's a gift, y'all. Oh, real quick. I played the trailer at the beginning for my documentary Psionics. So it's still available at psionics.film. You can get the movie. I really want to just thank everyone who has supported the film. People still keep getting it. And I just thank you so much. It means a lot. It's allowed us to, you know, start making our next film as well. But that one is still available. I still need people to support it. Yeah, we got a lot more planned with that film. And I'm doing some, you know, I got a big interview planned soon to help promote it even more and get some more exposure for Vetted. But I just want to thank everyone for supporting the film. So if you haven't already, psionics.film. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to pop out with the trailer and play it one more time. All right, y'all. See you guys on the next one. Peace. For years, mankind has explored hidden powers of the mind. Most dismissed it as science fiction.
It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what we're doing believing in all this nonsense over all these years.
But what if they were wrong? What if you could summon UFOs? With your mind. What if you had the power inside of you? All this time, would you try it? Would you be afraid? Or would you just go for it?
Because these are going nuts.
They're going off.
And you interact with them, you form a bond. Oh no, you can't record any of this. Turn it off.
Turn it off for a second.
Controversial, huh? That's my middle name.
It's like it turned on and got brighter for 1 second.
Yeah.
I know there's aliens inside there.
Did you see that, Patrick? Oh my god.
Did you hear that? Something is in the bushes right behind you, dude.
I'm ready to see something. If you're willing to show it to me, I'm open. I just want to see what you are. And I look up, and there are these orange lights that are just drifting above the tree line.
I just don't even know what I'm doing with my life.